Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up, give up, give up.
I know you got doubts, but get to the bag. Just follow the dream and stick with the plan.
Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Red's View. I am your gracious host, J Red, and I am humbled, y'all. We have an honorable legend with us right now. He's one member of one of the greatest groundbreaking rap groups right now. n.w.a. We got DJ YELLA, the legendary. What's up, man?
Oh, not too much. What's going on?
Man, just, living everyday life, man, trying to stay out of COVID's way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I do.
I already know. So, yeah, man, so you got a lot of stuff going on as far as your book that you just released.
Yeah.
It's called Straight Outta Compton, My Untold Story. So tell us about that.
I mean, it's just my whole life from 4 years old to 2020. And it just happened to be the wrecking crew that was before n.w.a, Dre, all this happened to be in my lifetime. So I just tell it, how it is, not to make me like I did something or created something. No, I just told it in order how it is, with pictures and everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's much needed because I feel like the Straight Outta Compton movie, it didn't focus enough on you and MC Ren. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all were just as important as the other members, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be able to get this. I hadn't got my copy yet, but I'm excited to read it. It's like another biopic for us, you know what I'm saying? So what made you feel like this is the right time to actually release it?
I never even read a book, to tell you the truth. I never even read no novels, none of that stuff. I'm not a reader. I mean, magazines or, something like that, but a book reader, and God just put it on me to write it through the whole pandemic, a year and a half, while everything was shut down. And I just wrote it, and he told me the title, he told me everything about it, how to look, everything. He gave it to me, and it just came out. Because I didn't put it out to make money. I'm not a money person. I don't care about money. Money, we need money to survive, okay. But I made it to put out my testimony to show people even how the stuff, ups, downs, all the stuff I've been through, God still came and got me after all them years of doing whatever I was doing.
Yeah, man, because you were involved in a lot after you, the group disbanded. You were still producing records, of course, with Eazy, then Eazy.
Yeah.
And then you got into porn and you got into stuff, man. So your life.
I mean, I did the adult movies for 15 years, 350 movies.
Wow.
Over 350. I think it might be more than that.
Yeah. I saw a picture with you and Sky Black. She looked like she was holding on something.
Yeah. Wow.
That's just funny. That's funny, man. But so, man, let's talk about what else you're doing right now, because I follow you on Instagram and I see interviews, and it looks like you still doing shows with Lil Eazy-E.
Yeah.
Son of the legendary Eazy-E, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I've been DJing by myself solo for the past 4 years. I've been to 100 cities and 100 countries or whatever I've been, so many I can't even, from Korea, Dubai, Bahrain, Bali, Sri Lanka, Australia, you name a place, you point on a map, I've been there. Most likely I've been there. And then some of the shows I do with Lil E, because he remind me of his dad. Mm-hmm. We do his dad's songs. So, it's like a treat to the crowd, but it's still fun because it's amazing that me and his dad was on stage and now me and his son, which is like somebody's old here.
And it has to feel surreal because, like you said, this reminds you of Eazy because he looks just like Eazy. Same height and everything. Almost.
Yeah, talk like him. His mannerism is like, it's just like, wow. Yeah. He can't not claim that one.
Definitely. So I saw recently Eazy-E, his daughter Evie, and her mother actually did a documentary talking about the mysterious death of Eazy-E. How did you? Have you seen?
They try to get me to do that, but I stay out of grown folks' business. I know E. I know what happened. You know, hey, I don't care what you do, what you dig up, what you find. He ain't coming back no more. So leave. You know, I leave it. I remember, and I'm going forward. I don't get tied up in all that stuff.
Got you. Yeah, facts. All right, man. So let's take it to the beginning, right? So you got, you grew up in Compton.
Yeah.
And you started drumming first. Weren't you a drummer?
Yeah, I was in the band at Compton High, and I was in the band. I didn't think nothing about it. I just played the drums, and that was it. I never thought I would play drums on any of our songs later on. I played on all the albums just about on Ruthless. Right. And it just, I was the only real musician in the group. Nobody could play keyboards. We knew how the sound we wanted or something like that, and we'd tell somebody to play it. But and yeah, I played drums, but I never really thought nothing about it, but they came up doing a couple of albums.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing about that was so creative is when you go back and listen to especially Straight Outta Compton,
yeah,
you hear the organic song, the song structure, you hear the instruments, the band, like the drums and stuff. And I never knew that you were actually the one that was playing the drums.
On each album I played a drum. I played one on Eazy's album, Too Hard, and then one on Straight Outta Compton, one on the DLC. And I think I played another one on our last album. And then a couple of more stuff I played drums on. So
yeah,
here and there I played drums, not too much, but here and there.
Definitely. So then you end up meeting one of the greatest producers, if not the greatest hip hop producer of all time, Dr. Dre, right? Because you met him before Eazy, because y'all were in World Class Wrecking Crew.
Oh yeah, I mean me and Dre met way before music was even thought of around us. We was both DJs. Well, I was DJing first a couple of years. Then Dre came along and we met. And we just naturally hooked up like brothers. So we was DJs for a year or two at least before music even came into the picture.
Yeah, definitely. And what made y'all decide hey, we're gonna try this, put the group together, World Class Wrecking Crew, try this rap thing out? Because y'all had one of a big song at that time, Turn Off the Lights, that Master actually sampled.
But that was actually the last song we did with the Wrecking Crew. But we never performed that song. Right when we made it, and that's when n.w.a. started, the song blew up, was huge.
Wow.
So, we never made any money off of it. We never did nothing. But yeah, that was the last thing we did. And it was on to
y'all in n.w.a. by the time that Turn Off the Lights song blew up.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood. By the time that song blew up, Boys in the Hood was already made. Because I was working at the time. Because in the Wrecking Crew, me and Dre wasn't making no money. So I had to get a job for 3 months, I remember. And then that's when Dre, E, and Cube and them did Boys in the Hood. 8 Ball and Boys in the Hood. And I remember Dre telling me, he said, hey, man, we finna make this super group. Won't you come with us? So, all right, I'm going. Just like that. Didn't think, no second thoughts, nothing.
So whose idea was it to go? Because if you look at the World Class Wrecking Crew pictures, y'all look like the modern times in the 80s, like how influenced the Jerry curls, just everything.
Oh, yeah, because we was trying to dress for the women, not for being hard. Or that. We were trying to be sexy, like Prince. That was our look. And then I don't know who came up with it, but I remember him telling me, he said, we're going to put this super group together. Me and him from the Wrecking Crew, Cube from the little side group, CIA, and then E and Ren, and then Arabian was around at that time. So to make one group.
Yeah, definitely. So y'all made the super group n.w.a. Now, eventually Arabian Prince left before
Actually, before we started recording the album Straight Outta Compton. But he got on the earlier pictures. We did a bunch of pictures when we first had got with Priority. We did a bunch of pictures. And then so he was on that picture. And when that picture was finally picked for the album, he was already back to solo.
Right.
So, and because he never went on the tour with us or none of that stuff. He did some of the early shows when Cube was at school for a year. Arabian was around, we was doing shows, but then after that, he just was gone. I didn't see him no more.
Yeah, definitely. So, so Straight Outta Compton, first Eazy-E's album comes out, right?
Yeah, that was the main album. Well, no, go back further than that. JJ Fad's gold single, gold album. That was Ruthless' first 2 gold records. Arabian was around then because Arabian had did the song Supersonic.
Right.
And then when we got there from Dream Team Records, we did the album. That was the first gold stuff. Then Eazy's album came. And if you look at the Eazy Does It's album, that's an n.w.a. picture. Everybody, all the group, not just a solo guy, but because somebody, I don't know if it was Dre or E, somebody came up, let's be 2 groups instead of 1. Eazy-E, n.w.a. But it's the same people, same producers, same writers, everything. So it's just somebody said, let's split it up, make double the money.
Right. So the reason y'all decided to put the Eazy-E album first because Boys in the Hood blew up, and it's like, hey, let's put the album out.
Boys in the Hood was, it was underground. But on the this radio station K-Day with Greg Mack back then, it used to be on the top 5 every day. Number 1 every day for like 3 weeks in a row. It was just killing. Because what it is, the song wasn't made for the radio, but when it was a chance to get it on the radio, we made a radio version of it. So we didn't make songs for the radio. We just made songs. This is what we're doing. If they like it, okay. If they don't like it, okay. Still okay. But so some of the songs, even like people don't really know, the Straight Outta Compton album, there was a radio album of that. Yes.
Where is that album?
Because they used to sell it in like Kmart's or Targets or something back then. Somebody came up with the idea, and then we end up doing a whole radio version of that album. Sometimes you can catch some of the songs radio version. And, the words are a little different, but yeah, it was a whole album like that.
Wow, I never knew that. I'm learning something here. So, all right, so Eazy-E album comes out, then Straight Outta Compton, that comes out like towards the end of '88, right?
I think 88, late '88 or early '89. One of them, right up there. Ease was in '88. All that was in the same time. Yeah, Ease came out gold, then platinum, then double platinum. Straight Outta Compton came out, they both just, and then we did it in a tour in '89. Yeah.
And how was it like, because y'all were really underground, independent, but because y'all didn't have mainstream success, and people look, y'all had videos and stuff, but MTV.
Not even, we had video that got banned on MTV. So we made videos and nobody watched them. So nobody could see them. So we were just underground, but the underground is big. Once people in the suburbs and out the ghetto started hearing it, it was just on then. It was on.
Definitely. So whose idea was it to come up with the song, if you can remember, Fuck the Police? Like, who just said, hey, man, let's put this out?
I don't know. It might have been Cube. I don't know who exactly came up with it. The movie tried to say that we got jacked outside, and we have got jacked in front of the studio, but I don't think it was at the same time that song came up. Because we made the song back then, everybody wanted to say that to the cops. But back in them days, you didn't say that to the cops. Like nowadays, they right in front of the cops cussing them out. No. Our generation couldn't do that in them days. Yeah. So we made the song, and people just could relate to it. They always wanted to say it, but they never would.
Yeah, definitely. And y'all got, of course, threatened. If everybody's seen the movie, of course, y'all just looked at the FBI's threat like, oh, okay, whatever. That gave you more publicity.
Once MTV banned us, and then the FBI sent us a letter, and the thing was, another FBI agency sent them a letter for, you shouldn't be messing with them, it's our civil rights and all this stuff. So after that, it just nonstop then.
Wow. So how did it feel at that time? Because y'all were like, these days everybody cusses on the records. These days everybody can say fuck the police and everything. Like, how did you feel at the time personally with all this stuff going on? Were you worried, like looking behind your back to see, you know, something's gonna happen or what?
It was just because we wasn't the first to cuss on the record. Richard Pryor's and Dolomites and them people cussed them, but that was comedy records. So, but we rapped when we opened our front door. That's what we rapped about, the streets. And our language happened to cuss. You know, it was different. Just like the n.w.a. The real meaning back there, we kind of really didn't say what it meant.
Right.
You know, because it'd be the other color asking us. We say, nah, you don't want to know the name. You know, you don't want to know that name. Because it's just a different era back there. But, you know, they hated us and they loved us. So, you know, it was crazy. You know, they labeled us the world's most dangerous group, all this, you know, and the thing about it, when we was making the music, we never thought of anything like that. We didn't even think of gold records, platinum, triple platinum. We never thought of that. We never thought 30 years later, a movie, 31 years later, Hall of Fame.
Right.
When we was making the songs, we were just trying to make a few bucks. That's all it was. We wasn't like, yeah, we're going to make this. We just went in there and just did our thing. That was it.
Definitely. So it changed a whole bunch of things because one thing that I paid attention to at the time when Straight Outta Compton came out, SoundScan is still kind of relatively new because SoundScan came out a little like in the 90s, right? Early 90s. And then once Niggas for Life came out, it rose to the charts. So really, you all were selling, like, of course you were selling platinum, but y'all were outselling everybody. It just wasn't like track.
Well, oh yeah, hip hop, definitely. Because when that album came out, we shipped gold, 500,000. Back then, nobody didn't do that.
Right.
For hip hop. Maybe the rock and rollers, but not hip hop. Exactly. That was like unheard of. To ship out the box gold, #1 at the chart. And the funny thing is, we broke up right at that point.
So what, from your perspective, because we seen the movies, we heard Q, Drake.
I can tell you exactly what it was. The circle with the 5 group members, there was no issues. Never no issues. No arguments. No, man, I ain't making no money. None of that. It's the people in the second circle looking in, looking over shoulders, whispering in the ear, whatever they was doing. That's what broke the group up. That's what led Cube astray. And then eventually Dre left, and then the group, I wouldn't say broke up, it just dissolved.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. It wasn't the inside, it's the outside. It's always the outsiders.
Yeah, they did that. So what made you stay with Eazy? Like, did Dre talk to you at all about going to Death Row, jumping ship?
Well, I remember, and it's in the book. He called me one morning, like 8:30 in the morning. He said, I'm gone. So, I'm just waking up. And I'm like, and I'm thinking in my mind, gone where? He said, I'm gone. Are you coming? So I never gave him an answer. I gave him, when I gave him an answer?
When?
2019. I did. That's when I gave him the answer. But when he told me that, and by the time I found out, really realized he was already, he was gone. So I didn't pick to be with E. I just was stuck. I wouldn't say stuck, but I was just like, dang if I do, dang if I, just.
Yeah.
So I just stayed there. I didn't pick sides. I should have left with Dre, but I didn't.
Right. So
and I told him that in 2019. It wasn't the answer. I was just like, wow, it was just too late. I didn't have no answer.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that people debate about, like Above the Law, right? Above the Law was on Ruthless Records, and if you hear the production on Niggas for Life, that's where you hear the first dose of the G-Funk, right?
Yeah.
Now, did Cole 187 was he the producer that kind of introduced that to Dre, or was it like a collaborative collaboration.
Well, I know they did their album before our last album, like way before our last album, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And then when we got to that album, we just grew up from the first album. The last album was a better album, hands down, than the first one. Yeah. But the first one you just can't replace.
Right.
Is it because the 3 rappers was on it? Or is it because this one wasn't no Cube on it? Is that why it didn't do as good as the other one? But this was a better produced album.
I agree.
By far. Way far. So we used less samples, everything.
Yeah.
But, we just used more live instruments. So it just, I don't know if that's the start of the G-Funk or if it was above. I don't know. So, but we just did it. The album just happened.
Yeah, definitely. Because it does sound different. Like you said, if you're talking about the groundbreaking album, you got to give it to Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about just listening to the quality of the production and everything like that.
Way different.
Yeah, definitely that.
Oh, yeah.
So you stayed with Eazy. One thing in the movie that people were confused about at the time he had signed Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, right? So
let's talk about that.
Okay.
Me and E was doing a show. I think it was 93, 94, whenever. And we was in the dressing room, and E walked out, and I'm just there, and these 5 guys came up to me and started rapping and singing. I'm looking at them. I'm like, who is these characters?
Yeah.
So E came back. I said, hey, why don't you guys go talk to him over there? They went over there to talk to them. By the time we got off of them few shows, they was in L.A. He had bought them bus tickets, everything in L.A.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Because Bone is like us. We came out way different from everybody, from all the East Coast, everything. When they came out rapping and singing, they came out way different. Way different. That's why they a heavy hitter group. That's why they're a heavy hitter, not just another old group, because they was totally different from everybody. Yeah, nowadays everybody done bit their style, but they created that style.
Absolutely. I bet when y'all heard that, you just like, what the, like,
that's why I was like, don't talk to him. I was like, that'll never make it, whatever. It's just weird. But once you hear it on record, boom. I mean, I did For the Love of Money. That track was already there because I did it for another group a couple of years before. But that group got caught up in like red tape and it just didn't happen. Nothing happened. And it was just that track was sitting around. And they put the vocals on it and boom.
And then it just came out and it blew up from there. Yeah. So with a lot of people don't know this too. I want to ask if you remember it. will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas.
I remember being in the studio in Torrance, and he was in the studio. I think Will 1X or Will 1, whatever he was called back in them days. I remember him. If I see him today, I remember you.
Yeah, so they signed with them. I wonder why. People always wonder why, they never released a project or whatever like that.
Sometimes it just don't work, or you see, they needed to go somewhere else and do other stuff until it worked. But it ain't. I don't think it's anybody's fault or anything. It just didn't happen. I remember them in the studio, but it might have been too far ahead of themselves.
Right.
At that time.
Yeah.
They hit later. So sometimes stuff just don't work at certain times.
Definitely, yeah. I can see that. So, Q had issues with money. Dre had issues with money. Did you ever question Eazy, or did Ren ever talk about it? Like, did y'all ever have a discussion like, man, we should?
That's what I'm saying. That never was talked about. Never. I just talked to Dre about this just a month and a half ago. After 30 years, I'm like, I didn't even know it wasn't, to me, it wasn't E. It was the management. Because the management, okay, you get 20% of the group. That's all right. You can get that. But you're getting 20% of the label. And then you got a little bit something going on. Something ain't right here.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I can't see it being E. E probably had no idea of the papers he signed. He didn't know nothing about a record company, running a record company, and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I said. To me, I can't see him just not doing it. Maybe stuff got not paid or whatever because management or whatever is not doing it right or whatever the case is. But I can't see E to this day trying to cheat somebody. I just can't see it. I just couldn't see it then, and I ain't gonna see it now.
One thing that's interesting, because Birdman from Cash Money, he was just on the interview, and he was saying, like, it was a lot of rumors about him not paying the artists and all this stuff, but he said, hey, I didn't know what I was doing at that time. I'll take blame for it. It wasn't anything personal, but I got it straight with everybody now. So when I saw that, thinking about him saying that, now that you're saying about with Eazy, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, here it is. Young black guys from the ghetto, talent, sitting on a mini Motown, millions of dollars coming in there.
Yeah.
They don't know publishing, writers, artists, producer, all this technical stuff. But the manager had been around for decades, know this stuff.
Yeah.
No, he might have said, "Oh, do this." He don't know what he's doing. He just sign it. So that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I never felt cheated. None of that. I never even thought about that at all.
Yeah, definitely. So you actually released. How many albums have you released? Was it just that one?
Just that one. After a year after his death, because the day we buried him, I remember standing by the grave. All the crowd had gone. There was just a couple of people. And I said, that day, I'm done with music. I'm done. It's just that quick. It wasn't even a second thought. I didn't think about it that morning. It just it's over. And I didn't do no more music until this record company came after me for a solo album. I'm like, I'm not a solo artist. I don't rap. I produce, I don't rap. But they hounded me. So I did that. But then at the same time, the courts for Ruthless came and wanted me to finish E's last album. I had E's album in the studio locked up. Nobody knew I had it. And I never even thought about the album. Then at the same time, while I'm in the studio, Priority comes. They want me to do the first n.w.a. greatest hits. The World's Most Dangerous, the original one.
Yeah.
They wanted me to do. So I was doing all these 3 albums at one time. So, and after that was it. It was all the dope movies after that. No more music.
So, and then you just don't know, you lost the love of it, like after Eazy passed? And
it just was gone. It just was, because at the time, I used to love doing it, but I can let it go. I don't need to hold on to it. It's just like, okay, I'm done. Just that quick. I don't have to think about it. No second regrets, no nothing. I ain't touched it since.
Wow. That's it. I mean, that's crazy. And then you end up going into the porn industry, and you said that you have over 300 films, right?
Over 350. Over 350. I mean, I went into it like producing records. I went and bought the cameras, the still picture, the computer, the ed. I shot everything. I did everything except be in the movies. And I looked at it like each movie was like making songs. I did 4 or 5 movies a month, just every month.
Yeah. And you were giving platforms to some of the world-renowned porn stars now, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, caught them in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's something else. So when you in your book, you also talk about it, how you decided to cut that off. Like, what made you be like, hey, you know what, I'm done with the porn industry as well?
It was about 2008. And the last 2 movies I did was called Straight Outta Compton.
Really?
The last 2, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I made them 2 movies, and the internet had just started to get big. So adult movies and all this was all on the internet. So people getting it for free. So that killed the DVD sales back then. So I was like, all right, I'm done with this one too. Just like that, just boom. I ain't never done it again since 2008. But then after that, 2010, I was homeless.
Right.
For 3.5 years.
Homeless. So
not on the street homeless, but having everything and then having nothing.
Wow. So what led to that? Was it just taxes or just money?
I mean, it was just money come in. Okay, what color do I want today? We talking about 50 cars, yacht, boats, jet skis, motorcycle, whatever I thought of. I just did it. Houses. I was a fool with money. That's what it is. Being young and dumb and having nobody to talk to, try to guide you or nothing. Oh, go buy some rental property. Go buy this. Nobody like that. I never had nobody to talk to about that. So when it didn't happen overnight. It just gradually, then it stopped coming in, and then, boom, I was just there, but not on the street. But now it wasn't because of no drugs, no alcohol, nothing. It was just me
spinning.
Just I like buying things.
Yeah. So you get with your wife. Was it during when you were homeless, or
it was? That's how I became unhomeless. The day I got married, she had a 1-bedroom apartment. That's how I became unhomeless. From that, and that was, we've been married 8 years now.
Wow. So that happened. And then was this around the time, when did you get the call that they were going to do the N.w.a movie?
In 2000, November of 2012, I got baptized. I was still homeless, but I got baptized. A month later, the word DJ popped in my mind. You know, I never wanted to DJ again, ever. I was still homeless. So the word DJ, that was getting ready to start. About a month later, Cube calls me. Oh, Universal just picked up the movie. This is all happening after I got baptized and saved. A little bit while later, my wife's name popped in my head. The next morning, she called. I like, you're my wife. That's it. That's it. I have not looked back since. But I know who it is. It's all God, because it wasn't me. You know, it was so crazy. Even during the homeless days, I was not looking for God. Didn't know nothing about him. Nothing. I wasn't no atheist or nothing like that. I believe in God, but, you know, I just believe in God.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't looking for him, but he still came and got me. That's the reason for this book, to have my testimony to show how good God was. Even me, a sinner of sinners, he still came and got me.
Yeah. And it's crazy. It's funny how your life, have you been saying so far, you know what I'm saying? Something happens and you know it's there, and then it's there, you know, just quit.
Yeah, because when God gives you something, I go with it. He gave me DJing. Okay, I told my buddy, and then it just all started to line up. Pioneer, the big company Pioneer. I remember going to a convention just to look at the stuff, you know, and get a price.
Yeah.
They end up sending me a brand new unit, their newest unit, for free. And I didn't even ask. I didn't even know. I had called like a month later. I called the guy and said, hey, I met you at the convention. I'm just trying to see a price. Oh, I ordered you one. I'm like, what? He ordered me one. I didn't even ask. So I know who it was. God wanted me to DJ. And since then, I have been to about 100 countries. By myself, solo. I'm doing bigger shows than n.w.a did. Festivals, all kinds of stuff, all out the country. None in the States, all out the country. n.w.a been to London one time. I've been to London 10 times.
Yeah. So how, and I want to dive into the DJs. I DJ myself, but the groundwork of the DJs from back in the days when you had finals, you didn't have the computers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, go to tell us about how that was opposed to like how the DJ is now, like the digital world.
Well, I mean, it should be the same thing, but back then you had to work. You know, you had to carry your crate, whatever the song. You know, you can't have 10,000 songs just on a hard drive or a flash drive. You had to carry 30, 40 copies with double copies in it. You know, you can't just push a button and find them. We had to do the hard work. But back then, because we was fortunate, we happened to be in a club every weekend. So it's always a party Friday and Saturday that we get to DJ at. And back then, the DJ had to talk on the microphone. You can't just be mixing on. Nah.
Yeah.
No, you had to work the party.
Right.
DJs was like the stars back then. We felt, to me, we was more like stars in the DJ days than in the n.w.a. days. Because DJs, you know, every weekend, you know, you catch the girls, all this, but you had to really work back then. I mean, you had to talk on the microphone to keep the party going. And you had to know how to program, you know, what songs to play, what goes with this, what goes with that. You know, back then they played slow songs where people slow down. They don't do that no more.
Yeah, they don't.
You know, it's a totally different world. Nowadays, I had to adjust to the controller and stuff like that because you can't be taking turntables on planes no more. You know, it's just ridiculous. So I ended up adjusting, but I DJ like the old school. I talk on the microphone. I don't just sit there and mix and scratch. I don't do that kind of DJ. I don't DJ parties. I do events.
Right.
You know, concerts. I perform like an artist on the turntable. You know, singing had a crowd singing, all kind of stuff. But it's to keep the party going. But I don't play nothing but old school 80s, 90s rap. That's all I play.
Yeah.
Out the country, that's all they want to hear. Oh yeah, that's all they want to hear is the old school.
Wow. So okay, yeah, I didn't know that because I mean when I noticed like every time I play 90s rap, 80s rap, all 90s R&B, it's always a different feeling opposed to when you play something current. It's like even younger people, you know, will be into it more because it's just so. What do you think that it is? You think the music was better?
I don't know if it was better. It was just a different era, different sound. Is more funkier back then. You know, nowadays just 1,000. Nowadays there's too many artists.
Yeah,
it's just too many. Half of them sound the same. Like the same. Sound like the same producer produced all of them. Exactly. You know, back then, if you put on any old school rap record, you just hear just a snippet of the beat. You know which camp it came from. Nobody sounded the same back then. Every camp had their own style. East Coast, West, it doesn't matter where it was from. You would know, okay, that's them. That's them. That's them in Texas. That's this and that. That's Luke and them. You know where that music comes from. It only takes just put it on and pick it up. Yeah. That's all it takes. But nowadays, it's the same stuff. I mean, I guess it's selling. You know, it's still selling. Hip hop is still going on. Hip hop ain't going nowhere. Right. It's gonna be there forever. But it's just a totally different era, different sound. You know, I can say one thing. A lot of the artists these days couldn't have made it in them days.
Definitely.
Back then, you had to be, you know, the Rakims, the LLs. You had to be hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it was a. You know, I saw that Big Tigger's supposed to be bringing back Rap City, but you know, Rap City, he would have the booth in the basement. I'm like, I don't think a lot of these auto-tune rappers could go on there and kind of do that now.
Yeah, nah.
One thing I wanted to know too, I want to say it was like the year 2000 or 99. There were talks of an n.w.a. reunion with Snoop Dogg. Actually, I don't know if he was replacing Eazy-E, but he was, you know.
Well, think about this. The Chin Check and the Hello song, that was Cube songs. That was not n.w.a. They just happened to have Ren, Dre, and Cube on it. Snoop just was in the breaks of the song. Right. He wasn't rapping like somebody's, you know, that might have been just people talking, but it wasn't a reunion. It was just, they came together on Cube's song and they shot the videos like an n.w.a. song. I think that's all it was.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know nothing about him. I was doing movies. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was rolling.
Yeah. I mean, it was always that, I remember seeing like magazines like that, and people were like, man, Snoop can't replace Eazy and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. Do you all think that you'll ever do an n.w.a tour once again?
We should have done it after the movie. People wanted it all around the world. It just, I don't know. I have no idea why not.
Mm-hmm.
It still would pack places,
Definitely.
not little places, big places. But, you never know. It might happen. You never know.
Because
still time for it to happen. We still breathing. So
exactly, because the reason I asked is because I just saw Dr. Dre is performing with Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, is DJ Yella gonna make an appearance and he gonna bring out?
I mean, he told me about that event about a month ago.
Oh, okay.
He told me about it. I knew, and I know what's coming with it.
Oh,
after that,
I think you ain't gonna say, but I think
I ain't saying anything.
Yeah, that's dope, man. One thing that I love is that I say Dr. Dre and Jay-Z led the pack as 50-year-old artists, hip hop artists that we grew up listening to. See, because back in the day, you had Big Daddy Kane, you had KRS.
Yeah.
They were the 80s crew, and they were looked at as just the OGs. Ain't nobody trying, right? But Dr. Dre's still relevant. Jay-Z's still relevant. And Dr. Dre can put out an album in 2021 and still go #1. So I'm glad
I mean, that's because that's being the heavyweight. Only the heavyweights survive.
Right.
The Bone Thugs, if they ever get it together and do an album, they can do one. Yep. But the heavyweights can do it. Cube can still do stuff. He still do shows, all that stuff. So it's hard to be a heavyweight, especially to be around this long.
Yeah.
This is a long time.
Exactly.
And we still talking about this 30 years later.
30, right. Yeah. And
I mean, now think about this. What group, even rock and rollers, heavy metals, I don't care what genre it is, what group broke up at #1, one of the biggest groups of, hip hop, dissolved, come back 30 years, a #1 movie at the time.
Yes.
Around the world, not locally, around the world, the Hall of Fame, and you selling just as many records as you sold in the beginning. I've been asking, I done did over 40 interviews in the past 2 months. Ain't one person name a group yet. Maybe a rock and roll group, maybe, I don't know.
Listen, man.
And then add this to it. Me and Dre started from the Wrecking Crew days before music. Me and Dre.
Right.
Look what came after that. The Cubes, the Snoops, the Eminems, 50 Cent, n.w.a, JJ Fad, Michelle A, DOC, ATL. It's so
the tree
endless. The Warren G's. It's endless.
But really, I mean, when you look at it, the mega selling artists, when you think of Eminem, I think arguably he's outsold Tupac at this point. Highest, I think he may be the highest selling hip hop artist of all time. If you look at Bone Thugs at the time, they were the highest selling hip hop.
Oh yeah,
just 50 Cent, G Unit. We wouldn't have all of these successful acts without your tree. And I'm sure you look at it like, damn.
I mean, I don't like to say that, but it goes all the way back. This is how music started for us. Me and Dre at our club, Run DMC come in for the first time. We sitting there looking at them. They only had Sucker MCs, their first song. They do a 10-minute show and fold their hands, drop the microphone, that's their show. So me and Dre on the side going, that's all it is? To make a song? That's it? And we talking about this today.
Exactly. And like you said, the movie. Did you like your portrayal in the movie?
I mean, that you read my book, I'm doing the same thing in it, But the movie was about 60 to 70% right. It wasn't, they had the Hollywood, a bunch of stuff just to make it look good. I liked the movie, but that's not why I wrote the book, because my character wasn't in it. Nah, I just wrote my story.
Right.
And n.w.a. happened to be in my story.
Exactly.
Eazy-E happened to be in my story and all this stuff. It just happened to be there.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, what's interesting about, when Straight Outta Compton came out, you can have so many different variations of it because Eazy-E can have his own movie.
Yeah.
Michelle Lay, she put out her own movie on Life. Dr. Dre could have his. And then, with the biopics, it's like everybody was, you could, a biopic for everybody in that.
Yeah.
Scene, I'm saying?
At least Netflix, definitely.
Yeah. You could have how Marvel has the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Same thing. But this is reality. This is the real stuff.
So man, congrats on the book that's came out. I've seen that you've been touring, doing a lot of book signings. I still got to get my copy, all that stuff. How has the feedback been from everybody so far?
You know something? Amazon is 5 stars all the time. And everybody, most of the people that read it, they say it's a good read. Mm-hmm. They get different stuff out of it. And they like, wow, they learn stuff from it. And I never wrote a book before. But they said the way I write it is like I'm sitting in there telling them the story.
Right.
The way it's wrote. Because I never read the books. I don't know how a book is wrote. Mm-hmm. So I just told my story.
Yeah. That's incredible. Incredible. What a story that it is. So what do you have coming up next, man? I know you said you're done with the music, you're done with the porn, all that stuff. What's next with DJ YELLA?
You don't really want to know. Well, first of all, it's the book, definitely. Right. Maybe Netflix or something off of it. Mm-hmm. I have a script, but then after that, I'm going to be a preacher.
Really?
Really. Yeah. I'm a deacon now in the church, and that's where I go. That's where I'm going.
Wow.
I know it. I've been told it, and I know it is. That's what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
To spread the word, that's it.
Man, that's incredible. I wouldn't
come from music to adult movies to a book, preacher.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going.
It's God's work, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that what a lot of people don't realize is that of course, like we said, what n.w.a. contributed, because I think above just the music, you know what I'm saying? When I think of n.w.a., I just think about legacy. I think about establishments. I think about Death Row, just Aftermath, just the whole thing. And then, for y'all to still be alive, you know what I'm saying, and still do what y'all do, because MC Ren, he's been putting out recent projects and stuff and still sharp, man. Ren is slept on, man. Like, Ren is killer with
he was the strongest voice in the group. He was the strongest voice. Cube had the style, and E was the voice.
Yeah.
E had the voice. Yeah. That was n.w.a. Then when Cube left, Dre had to fill them shoes. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
We just kept on going.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing about it, we only did 2 albums. That's it. People think, no, 2 albums, that's it. We did an EP and a couple of maxi singles. That's all.
Yeah. Wow. And it's just like when I think about if Eazy-E were alive today, because I've read research on him that said he was trying to put his own speakers out there. He was getting his own video game made.
Oh, he was working on a video game. All that. It was ahead of the times.
Yeah.
It was definitely the head of the time. Because the video game back then, you put on a vest, so you feel all the movement. So this was way ahead of what they got now.
Yeah.
So it no telling where would it went or whatever, Mm-hmm. But something, I tell people this a lot. The group had to break up.
Yeah.
Cube had to leave to go where he went. Dre had to leave to go where he went. And then they came back to the group, the movie did, it had to break up. Just imagine n.w.a. fall off because they can't make hits no more. That didn't happen.
Right.
we stopped at the top.
A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people end up fading out.
Fall off and trying to make a hit, can't cut.
Yeah.
We just, over. It was over.
And y'all just did everything that you did from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's incredible career, incredible legacy. Redheads, like I said, this has been an honor having DJ YELLA, legendary DJ YELLA, on my platform. Like I feel like a kid. You know what I'm saying? You know, I grew up.
You making me feel old.
You know, I feel like I grew up watching y'all all this, you know, all that good stuff, man. I grew up off y'all are the reason that I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, it's an honor. Definitely. Where can everybody pick up your book?
The book called Straight Outta Compton, My Untold Stories. You can get it at Amazon, ebook, paperback, and coming soon is the hardback, collector's edition. That's coming in a couple of weeks. And then if you want the autograph copies, you go to my website, DJ YELLA of n.w.a.com. And I actually autograph and number the books and send them out myself. And I've been sending them all around the world. Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely cop me one, man, because I've been seeing it. Definitely love everything that you do. Always supporting you, man. If you ever want to come back to the platform, we got to get because it's so much stuff. I had to condense.
Once you read it,
you
come back. We're gonna do this again.
Man, y'all heard it, Redhead Solidify. Where can everybody follow you at on social media?
Facebook, Instagram is DJ YELLA of n.w.a.
There it is.
And I'm the one that answers on them. I don't have nobody doing it. No, I answer.
Definitely. So, one more thing, that album that you put out, that's not on streaming platforms, right?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, the company dissolved back then.
Yeah.
So it just never. And I got the full album, but I don't care about no album.
Yeah, you don't care about the music. You like,
I'm good.
Well, I appreciate it, man. You coming on the platform, everybody. You got to make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/RedsView so you can get all these exclusive interviews from the OGs, from the GOATs, from the legends. You know what I'm saying? Follow me at JAYR3D on all social media platforms, preferably Instagram and TikTok. All right, man. J-Red, DJ YELLA, thank you again, man, for coming out.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up, give up.